Good morning. I'm Laura Grisham with Laura Grisham Designs, and today I'm going to share with you my best-selling wreath, my sunflower. I've got to make one today for my niece who lives in South Carolina, Mary Ashley. She's raising sunflowers and she wants one for her door, so I'm going to go ahead and let you watch while I create one. First, let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need a large, Unique in the Creek board. You could do this on a small board, but I'm going to use the large board. You're going to need a sunflower bloom. This one, I buy mine, I'm going to do a plug here for Craft Outlet. These are the 11-inch ones. They even have 14-inch. But you can see it takes up quite a bit of your board. But I use an 11-inch sunflower bloom. We're going to use for our leaves poly burlap. And I believe this is lime green. Again, I got this at Craft Outlet. This one is fresh green. I like to use two greens. I'm going to use fabric mesh and let's see, I believe this is sunflower. Right here. And then fabric mesh in this color. See the difference here. Okay. I'm also going to be using a regular deco mesh. This is, I think it's a golden two-tone. It's similar to this one, but for texture, I'm going to use some of this. Okay. And I also am probably going to be using some of this yellow horizontal wide stripe mesh. That's what it looks like. And then there's a possibility that I might throw in some of this just regular yellow deco mesh. All right. Yes, I've got, looking right here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different, no, take these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different yellow meshes that I possibly could use. We'll see. Anyway, let me get my everything set up and we'll get started. Before I begin putting my wreath together, of course, I've got to get my mesh cut. I want to share with you how I measure and cut my mesh. Now, I'm going to be cutting the green, the two different greens for my leaves, and I'm going to be cutting them at 10 inches, and I am going to be using a wood burner. I've got a piece of tempered glass on top of my cutting mat. I'll show you that right now. Okay. See if I can move it. No, it needs to come back. Okay. All right. Here's my glass right here on my mat. I have got it where I've got it starting at the 6. That way it's on the 10. It's also on the 20 because I'm going to cut 2 pieces of mesh at once. Let me show you how I do that. I think this was the fresh green or something. Anyway, I take my mesh, and over on the side of my mat is the end line or beginning line, whatever you want to say, of the measurement. It's a thick white line. I'm going to making sure that my ends here are on the glass. Usually I come up to 5. I'm going to put the very end of my mesh, which has already been wood burned on the edges, and I'm going to clip it right there. I'm going to do the same in the middle. And then right here. And then I just roll my mesh out. And I go ahead and take my wood burner and I cut at, I usually go to 20 first. And I burn right between the lines, between the squares on the mesh at 20 inches. And then I go to 10 and I do the same thing. Okay. And now I've got 2 pieces of mesh I've cut rather quickly instead of just cutting 10 inches. You can cut. I burn quite a bit of mesh at one time. It's not my favorite thing to do. So I will usually burn as much, a bunch of green because I know I'm going to be using it for leaves. And I will burn a lot of yellow because I do a lot of sunflowers. But anyway, this is how I do it. I do the same thing when I cut my mesh for my reverse tuck petals that are cut at 20 inches. Of course, I can only cut one at a time, but I still hook it on the end there. And my petals, or my pieces of mesh that I work with, are more uniform, more likely to be a square than if I just kind of lay my mesh down and then cut it. So that's my little trick for cutting mesh. Now I'm going to go ahead and burn a whole bunch of mesh, and then I'll be back and we'll start making a wreath. Well, before I start adding my sunflower petals, I wanted to show you, I've mentioned this in several of my other videos, but I discovered this wreath hanger. It's called the Wreath Mate, and it's by Personally Yours, and it's plywreathsigns.com. I found it on Shop. This is what the package looks like. Okay, and the wreath hanger, I've been using these now for about a month, but I've been putting them on all my wreaths, including my Unique in the Creek wreaths. I do have to burn additional holes in, but this is what it looks like. And when you put it on, it's perfect. I mean, it's so much better than a zip tie or a Chanel stem. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to take my board and find the side the side that says Unique in the Creek on it goes in the back. I found my two hanging holes up here by row 1. I'm going to, since my Wreath Mate doesn't actually meet it, I'm going to burn holes on either side of these two holes, and I'll be right back after I get this mounted. Okay, I've got my Wreath Mate mounted on my Unique in the Creek board. This is how I did it on the inside. I burned a hole right here. I've used this one and put it on there, but look how this is the side that the customer will go against the door. Isn't that nice? Okay, usually I make my leaves first, but the last time that I made one, I ended up going back and having to add leaves. So this time I'm going to go ahead and start with the petals, and then we'll do the leaves last. That's not normal, but we're going to try it that way. So let me bring you down and show you how to get this thing going. Okay, to make the petals, they look like this. I'm going to take a piece of the yellow horizontal stripe mesh and fold it, and then take a piece of the regular deco mesh, fold it, and put the two together. And those two pieces I will zip tie together to put on the board. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, I'm going to take this piece of horizontal wide stripe yellow, and I've got my curl side up, and I have the finished edges on the right and the left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top right corner and the bottom left corner and bring them in. And normally you would see this, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take these and we're going to bring them further down like this. All right, 4 to 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. Here's 5. So we're about right there. 4 to 5 inches. Then we're just going to gather this. Just gather it up like this. That's what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a clip to hold that. Now I'm going to get a piece of deco mesh. This is to give it different texture. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the top and bottom corners and bring them in lower than in the middle. And this makes, like, the best word I know is to say it makes it like gnarly petals, which is exactly what a sunflower has. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to hold them together like this. or use my clip. I'm going to use a 6-inch zip tie. You could rubber band, but it's kind of thick. So I find that the zip ties are easier to do than a rubber band. So you zip tie these together. Like that. And this is what you have. You see that? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and trim my zip tie and cut off the excess. Whoop. Okay. And when you start putting these together, you will put, like, the regular deco mesh will go next to the horizontal wide stripe. And you can see I've got 2 different colors of deco mesh and horizontal wide stripe. I've got all different colors because with the sunflower, that's what you have. You see all different colors of yellow in there. When you put this on the board, it's very, very full. We'll do that in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of petals, and I will be back. Your petals are going to go on row 3. The leaves will be on row 2. If you want a really large wreath, if your customer has a really large door, go ahead and make your petals on row 2 and your leaves on row 1. You'll have to burn additional holes into row 1 for your leaves, but it'll work. It'll make a really, really large wreath. Let me show you what I mean on the board. As you can see, I've placed some on row 3. I've gone ahead and marked right here so you can see I'm using all the regular holes and sharing holes right here all the way around. And as you place your petals, if you'll notice, I've got a horizontal wide stripe with a regular deco mesh that I put together. I showed you how to do that, and I'll show you again. And I have it on the board where it's a horizontal wide stripe, the deco mesh. Then I put the horizontal wide stripe again next to the deco mesh so that it's every other one when you place them on the board. Okay. Let me show you again how to make those petals. Let's take a piece of mesh, 10 by 10, cross side up. We're going to grab the top right, the bottom left. We're going to pull it in, not to the center, but about, a few inches down, something like this, like a triangle. Then I'm going to gather it in the middle first, and then I'm just going to scrunch in the sides, making sure that I have all the edges in, okay? Grab you a clip or something, or if you're really good, hold on tight. Take a piece of deco mesh. Do the same thing. Take the bottom and upper corner and pull it in to the middle. Well, lower than the middle, but in the middle of the piece. Okay, make sure that you get all the edges in because the deco mesh tends to curl up. All right, then I have this. I'm going to put these 2 together like that. I'm going to take a zip tie. Zip tie them together. Just like that. Got my tail there. Trim this. It's really thick. There we go. And then this piece, notice when I flip it over, I've got my horizontal wide stripe mesh here, my deco mesh. On the board, the next one that goes right here, this is the way I need to put it in, just like this. And these are going to just start to go everywhere. And that's really what you want to give a real good sunflower look, is you want your flower petals to just kind of go crazy on you. It all looks really good when it's finished. I'm going to finish putting my petals on the board, and then we're going to get to the next row of petals, which is different. See you in a minute. Okay, you take your 10 by 10 inch piece of mesh. This is a yellow fabric mesh. I've got my finished edges on both sides. what you're going to do is you're going to go to the top right and the bottom left corner, and you're going to pull them in. And you're going to cross them. And you want this right here to be in a line like this, because you're going to gather that just like this. Okay? You want to make sure that you gather so that you have all of that edge right there. We're going to take that, clip it, and we're going to take another piece of mesh of a different shade of yellow. We're going to do the exact same thing. Bottom left, top right corner in. This, line it up, get you a line there right through here so that you catch everything. You don't want to not have everything in the petal fold. So it looks like that. We're going to take this one and put them together. I'm going to use my clip and hold it down some. I'm going to take a zip tie and zip tie these together. There we go. And then you can clip your zip tie and trim off all the excess here. These are heavy duty scissors and they still have trouble. There we go. Like that. And it'll look like this. And like the word that I used before was gnarly, and that's what a sunflower petal looks like. Let me show you one more time how to do this. This is a piece of horizontal wide stripe mesh. Again, I've got my finished edges here. Top right, bottom left, pull it in to make a straight line like that right here. Gonna pinch and then pinch this in and pinch this in, and then I'm gonna take a clip and hold it. I'm going to get another piece of mesh. This is just plain deco mesh here. Top right, bottom left, pull it in and make sure you have a line there. There we go. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Again, like this. Pull the two together like this. Clip it. Get a zip tie. I suppose you could use rubber bands. It's just, to me, this was much easier. This is a 6-inch zip tie. And zip it together, just like that. Take your scissors, clip, and trim off the excess. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take this and put it on our board. Here's the board. You can see how full it's gotten. And I want it that way. I wanted it very full. Now, when I put this on, notice this petal. See how it's open right here? I want to flip it over. I want that on the bottom side. When I put this in, my deco mesh is going next to my horizontal wide. And this is fabric mesh. We're gonna go in right here. We've used every single hole, shared holes included. So there's a lot of petals on this board. This is a very, very full wreath. Okay, we've got that one there. Again, this one's open. That means we need to flip it over. It's gonna put the deco mesh next to the fabric mesh, which is what we want because of the texture that's involved. We want that texture. And there we go. Just like that. Okay? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more petals to do on this row, and you can see how full and big this is. Now let's get to the lolly petals here. Let me show you how to do them up close. All right, we're gonna take a piece of horizontal wide stripe mesh, or we could use the fabric mesh. They're about the same shade. And we're gonna take a piece of this, it's a green, a sage or an olivey green color. It just happens to be, I just have it in stock. It was just, has a gold stripe in it. We're gonna use it, we're gonna make a double lolly petal. So we're gonna double our mesh here. Just lay it on top. I want the green on the bottom to get this particular shade. All right, lolly petals. Take the bottom right corner, left, excuse me, bottom left corner, pull it to the top right corner to make a triangle. And then turn it. We're gonna stretch it, pinch, we're gonna go up about right here, even with this. Pinch it again and pull this side in. Then we're gonna go about right up here, and we're just gonna slide this in. Just slide it in. Mash this down. We're gonna go up here, and we're gonna slide this one in. And as we do, we're gonna be pushing all of this right here down to make it cup up like this. And there we go. I want that more rounded, so I'm gonna scooch that down or this up. Just keep working with it till you get it the right shape. There we go. Now take your zip tie. Okay. Keep working with it if you need to. There we go. I'm gonna clip my zip tie, cut off my excess. This one's very thick. And I'm trying not to make a mess. Here we go. And then all I have to do is take it over here on the board. Now, on the lolly petals, it's like you put in the regular hole and then a shared hole, skip. Regular hole, shared hole, skip. Because if you did every hole, including the shared holes, they're just too close together and they start getting squishy looking and they lose their shape. So we're gonna skip one. Like I said, shared hole, regular hole, shared hole, and then skip. Okay, and that's how we're doing our lolly petals, just like that. Okay, that's how we do the petals, and I'll be back in just a bit, and we'll finish this wreath. Okay, I've made a decision. Well, first let me show you what we've got. I've put my lolly petals on, and I'm going to show you how to do those in a minute, but I was experimenting with my board, trying to kind of shrink this down. If you want to do a sunflower or a flower this size on a large board, where you're using row 3 for your main petals and row 4 for your lolly petals, you could use, this center would work really well, this sunflower center, or you could take, what I really like are these half boxwoods. That would work. Or you could take just a round disc and cover it with fabric, and that would work. But what won't work is my 11-inch sunflower bloom, because you can't see the lolly petals. They're lost in there. So what I'm gonna do, because this is for my niece Mary, I wanted to use the bloom. So I guess you could use a smaller bloom. This one is 11 inches. If you had an 8-inch bloom, then it would work. I'm gonna transfer these petals to a different board where you can see on the back I've already got it, all the holes. So I'm gonna save this and use it for another project. But I'm gonna go and I've started another board where I used every hole and shared hole on row 2, and I'm gonna transfer my petals over so that I will be able to use my sunflower bloom. So I've got some work to do. I'll be back later. Bye, y'all. Okay, we were just getting ready to put the sunflower in the center of our sunflower when my friend Jenny said, Laura, you have to come. So I'm going to share this with you. We have a visitor on our front doorstep. Let me switch the camera around. If I can figure out where's the button. There it is, right there. Come on. How do I do it?
I don't know on your phone.
Okay.
Just turn the phone around.
Oh, okay. Here. Look at what was on our doorstep. I'm calling him Terry the Tortoise or Terry Turtle. How's that for a visitor? Be back in a minute. Now that the excitement is over from our little visit from Terry the Tortoise, I'm going to finish, or at least let's put the sunflower center in our wreath. I'm going to pull you down so you can see what I'm doing. What I want to show you too is, because just look how full this is. This is a massive wreath that you can be very proud to give your clients. I've got a bunch of lolly petals here, and then the petal that I use for the petals. It's just massive, and it's full of texture and color, and I just love it. I'm going to cut the tag off my sunflower bloom, and I'm going to put a little electric cable mount on. I'm going to cut the center right here off the sunflower bloom, and put a little hot glue on this. Actually, just a tad, just a little bit, yeah, and put it right there on the center. And then I'm going to add some hot glue around the edges here. Just like that, just to kind of hold it in place. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside while it dries. And now I have put on some leaves over here. You can't see them because this is so big. But I'm going to up it a little bit. I'm going to take these silk leaves and I'm going to hot glue them on top of the mesh leaves that I've put in. I'm going to show you how I did the mesh leaves, but I'm going to go ahead and put these silk leaves on. Okay. And it looks like this. Can you see that? Okay. I'm going to do that to the other side. And this is a step you don't have to take. I've just kind of bought a bunch of these leaves on Temu and like the way that they look. Ooh. Okay. And this is what the leaves look like. See them right here? Okay. That's how I'm doing the leaves. Let me show you how I do the fold. Okay. You take a 10 by 10 inch piece of mesh, and we're going to do like we did with our petals, only this time we're going to just pull it into the middle, the two corners. We're going to pull the upper right, the bottom left into the center like this, and we're going to scrunch it, and we're going to scrunch it again. And I'm going to take this right here and pull it in, and this in and pull it in, and notice what it does. It curls this up, and that kind of helps hide the raw, hide some of the raw edges. Okay, and got it like this. Actually going to put a clip there. I'm going to get my wreath. And I've got leaves right here. I think I'm going to go about right here and put some more leaves. So that's I'm on row 1, and I've got let's see, 1, and I'm skipping 2, and then putting in a zip tie. I said I'm putting in a zip tie. Let's see. Okay, we'll just have to use one of these. Okay. No, here's one. All right. I'm gonna go skip 2 and go to this one right here. I'm gonna go up through here, and then I'm gonna take my leaves like this, and I'm going to, I can't show you this hardly. Let's see. I'm going to put them right here with the bad side facing the back like this. I'm going to take my zip tie right like that and pull it through, tucking this under. You want this underneath your petals like that. This is awkward. I don't really do it exactly this way. I'm just trying to show you where the leaves go. Okay, like that. Okay, and hopefully they'll stick out further than and they do, stick out further than the petals. And we can cut that zip tie. And we can hot glue on a couple of leaves. Okay. Okay, like this. Let's get one more. Okay. And put that on this one. Here we go. And now we have silk leaves. We've mounted them there. I think I'm going to go ahead and go around skipping 2 and then putting in leaves. I do believe our sunflower is ready to mount. I'll be right back and we'll finish this up. Okay, I've mounted my sunflower, and I have put the sticker, my business card sticker, on the back of my wreath, underneath my wreath hanger. And now all I have to do is glue on the silk leaves onto the leaves that I placed onto the sunflower. And this is what I did. Like, I skipped, it was supposed to go right there, one leaf was, but I didn't want to put it right by the hanger, so I skipped one. Then I went back to skipping 2, 1, skip 2, leaf, skip 2, and this is where I started. So anyway, the pattern's broken right here, but it's fine. So all I have to do now, I've got these mounted, these leaves on here, everything's and I've put hot glue in these holes right here to help hold that sunflower bloom in place. Let's turn this over, and this is what it looks like. And right up here you can see the leaves really well, right up here, right up in here. Okay. And in a minute, I think that's pretty stable. I used some of that E6000 and hot glue to hold the bloom in place. And I'm going to add the rest of the leaves, the silk leaves, onto the mesh. And then I'll take it outside and we'll see what it looks like on the door. I'll be right back. Well, this is the finished product outside on my deck. This is where I take a lot of my pictures of my wreaths. Fix the lolly petal here. This one's a little squished. But it turned out beautifully. I think Mary's going to love it. We used 64 pieces of yellow mesh, cut 10 by 10. The lolly petals, I think there were 15 of them. I think that's right. And so that's 15 pieces of the green. I had 5 leaves. So it's quite a bit of mesh, but look at the fullness right here. And the silk leaves onto the mesh leaves really add a nice touch to it. And of course, got my little signature bug that my friend Jenny makes for me. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. And hopefully you'll come back to my channel. I'll try to add new things every week and make it fun for you. Leave me some comments. I'd like to know how I can improve, what you'd like to see, what kind of wreath would you like to see me make next. I hope you had a wonderful time. Have a great afternoon. God bless. Bye-bye.